Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be something of a more serious video than I've made lately. With so much negativity in the world, and I'm sure many others, find myself retreating more and more often to fantasy worlds just to keep sanity. Mainly for me, this is books and especially Star Wars. And in the last week or so, there's been a big shakeup in the Star Wars costuming community, mainly regarding the biggest costuming club in the world. I cannot get into specifics, but if you look it up, I'm sure you can find out what I'm talking about. I will say I do have something of a personal connection to this. I'm friends, not close friends, but I am friends with the person that was removed from leadership, and there's a very, very big shakeup going on in the costuming community right now, and it's breaking my heart because Star Wars costumers were the first Star Wars fans that I met that didn't laugh at me for being a girl who loved Star Wars. It's the first time I met fellow female Star Wars fans and found out that it's possible to make film-accurate costumes and do charity events in which you either raise money for charities or do Make-A-Wish for sick kids or visit hospitals or nursing homes or just show up to a kid's birthday party in costume just to help spread a little bit of joy and hopefully represent the Star Wars universe that people love. Lately, it's been moving away from that, and like I said, I can't really get into details. I'm not a member of this club, but I am a member of the club that's very closely associated with it, and I don't yet know what the repercussions are going to be. I have to say I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm disgusted, I'm upset. Even the founder of this club came out and called it out for what it was, and I honestly hope something can happen, something is going to change. Otherwise, that club and maybe all the costuming clubs that are officially associated with Lucasfilm may be going away, and that would break my heart. I know a lot of people's hearts. A lot. So what I wanted to bring to you was 2 years ago when there was such a split over the division between prequels and sequels and original trilogy. There was a letter written by a lady who's a member of one of these clubs that was shared across several boards, and it was called An Answer to Toxic Fandom. And I hope it's alright. I won't be mentioning any names, and I'm going to make the language of this a little bit more generic so people can understand. The admins wanted to have a frank discussion with you about all the current situation in Star Wars fandom. The toxic fans. These are the ones that the media often refers to as bullies, trolls, etc., and these toxic fans are the ones that are blamed for what is wrong in fandom. Many times, the costumed fan groups and support groups get labeled as toxic or blamed for these issues. It's causing problems for us all at many levels, and it's time for it to stop. And the solution starts with us, the fans. To start to course correct, the first thing we need to do as fans is realize that we are not entitled to anything as fans. We do not own the things we love and have no right to direct its path or criticize. Love Star Wars for what it is, with all its flaws and the good stuff too. Next, stop blame shifting. It's not one group or one section of fans over the other. We cannot look at a situation and say, "Not me," and then criticize without stepping up to solve the problem. Below is a quick list of issues that are often seen, things that only we as fans can correct. Being passionate about your costuming hobby/fandom is great, but it is no excuse for nasty behavior. We as adults need to control our passions and channel them in positive ways. Think first and then speak or write. Stop being superior or judgmental of other fans, their costumes, their club affiliations, etc. We are fans, that is all. None of us is better than the others. Respect each other, and take this one deeper. Respect yourself and your efforts as a fan. Respect other fans and their efforts and work as well. Respect all the clubs, whether you agree with them or not. The leaders and members of those organizations work really hard. Respect the fandom itself by loving it, not tearing it apart. All fans are different. Embrace that diversity. Diversity within the groups comes in many ways. Race, culture, creed, gender, world location, embrace these things. Remember, our differences are who we are, and they bring multiple facets and points of view to discussions, topics, and more. Learn from alternate points of view versus scorning them. It is okay to make your costume or to commission it. Both are equal. Don't scorn those who cannot craft and prefer to buy. Do not act superior because you can craft and some others struggle with it. It is okay to be into the charity aspect of the fandom and support it as your primary way of involvement. But remember, others are not necessarily the same. It is okay to be into the overall costuming and drive for accuracy. But remember that others may not have that same drive for accuracy and that their costume is just as good in their eyes. Constructive criticism is fine when it is invited. Don't tear others down or press your personal opinions where they may not be wanted. It is okay to be a more casual fan who prefers to collect over costume or to assist versus wear a costume. Don't judge those who prefer to have lesser involvement. Remember, each person views fandom differently, and it takes all kinds of people to make a community, and all have value. What can we do to combat this? Remember the issues listed above. Be aware about how your personal behaviors may be perceived. Be positive and a guiding force in the community. Do not become the problem. A united front of positivity and love for the fandom will do more to preserve it than being critical, judgmental, superior, and or elitist. Share your love of the fandom. Help others who want to embrace it, enjoy it. Stand up for it, but in a positive way. And don't be a keyboard warrior. We can do better. I know a little bit of this now seems kind of like saving face on the point of command. Basically, even if there are problems within the other clubs, keep supporting them. That sort of called me out, but it's very, very hard to keep doing that when... How else can I put it? Several friends of mine were hurt by leadership in this club, and that is a very, very hard thing to look past. I'm not a member of the club, and at this point I really don't want to be, but as a member of the sister club, I still have to support them and try to keep going. I mean, I'm sorry this is such a downer video, but it's something that's been bugging me, especially in the last week. The things that have been done in this group and to a smaller extent in other groups are unacceptable. Change needs to happen. Leadership needs to be shifted around. There may even need to be a split in the club to make sure this particular club has over 18,000 members worldwide. That means it is far, far too big for just regional commanding officers, or what they call COs. I do believe some in the club, especially those in leadership positions, have become corrupt by power. They have basically become the empire, paying more attention to the accuracy of a costume than a person's character. I will say this, I would welcome the beginning of background checks, since so many of these clubs work so closely with children anyway. I believe it's a good idea to have background checks on people entering the club. And this does not mean becoming gatekeepers or whatever, but keeping predators out, and those with a bullying mindset out. They'll at least help. But that's just my opinion, and I know I've gotten a little bit long-winded. I'm trying very, very hard not to get emotional right now because I troop with these people every single year. So while I have not had this happen from club members myself, it hurts knowing that it has happened to people that I'm close to. Anyway, I know I'm rambling. I hope you will excuse me, but this is something I felt I really needed to speak up on. It hurts, it's rough, and I can't say I'm not worried about what's going to happen to trooping as we know it. During the pandemic, we really haven't been doing any trooping, but it's, you kind of wonder what's going to happen. So, and I do hope we get some answers from the leaders of the club I'm a part of, since we're sort of closely entwined with this other club, what's going to happen with us. If that sounds selfish, I'm sorry, but I do kind of need to know what's going to happen with the club I'm in and what's going to happen if we're still allowed to troop. You know what I mean? So anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. So yeah, anyway, I hope, I'm rambling, I'm not even sure what to say, but I hope on Monday I can bring you something happier and get back to cheerful, geeky, fun things. I'll see everybody again on Monday, and until then, I think I'm going to start integrating more things into my outro. God bless, be kind, and may the Force be with you.